a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And we're blessed and highly favored, and I hope you are too. Thank you so much for spending time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Alex BlackBelt Lima in studio with me. We're going to be talking about his summer camp that he's got going on right here locally, as well as some Gainesville football, Gainesville sports in general. University of Florida seems like it's been on fire up there. Things are happening. Also, interesting story about Netflix and repurposing of commercial real estate. We've been talking a lot about commercial real estate and how the need there is there, both in the office space, also in retail. The demand is slowed. So what are you going to do with those open areas? Find out what Netflix is going to do. Interesting story coming up, kind of a mini theme park type situation. Interesting content. Also, a new report comes out. Tampa housing market is one of the fastest cooling in the nation, cooling off. So not a good thing for Tampa Bay. Ranked number 2 in the nation for the fastest cooling market. We'll jump into that, reasons why, what's behind that, and what to make of it all here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, later on as well, we're going to talk with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens, and also Doug Clark, Ours Creole, the restaurant partner in Pinellas County. And we always feature our listings, so we're going to talk about a couple of hot listings, plus our feel-good story of the day. We got a feel-good story for you, your daily injection of positivity here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a 91-year-old that surprises a fire department with $500,000 in funding for their archaic equipment. So feel-good story of the day, something positive to think about and talk about there as well, coming up here on the show. All right, a couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team. We got a property at 18522 Gulf Boulevard. Now, what we do is we feature our listings on air. The strategy works. We help our sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure. 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, Indian Shores. This is Pinellas County, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath. 2,000 square feet, beachfront condo. You are on the sugar sand beaches, dolphin-filled waters. You got a heated pool, as well as private parking there. 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, Indian Shores, $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. 3100 Archer Place. This is in Gainesville. We've got 90 pre-construction luxury condos available for sale in beautiful Gainesville, Florida. And this is a great opportunity to own real estate. Great investment because you're getting in at 10% off of retail. Now, these units are starting from the 400s up to the high 900s, where you're going to get your penthouse with your plunge pools, 2-story penthouses. This project is EB5 approved. There's no short-term rentals, and you're only just over a mile from the University of Florida, from the football field, Shands Medical, Butler Plaza, and a lot more there. So any UF fans, Gator fans, you want to reach out to the show hotline, and we'd love to talk to you about that. You can reach out to the show hotline anytime as well to get in contact with our real estate team, all the different expert contributors that you hear on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Check out platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right. Shout out to our troops, our veterans. Thank you so much. We love you. Appreciate everything you're doing and have done for the country. We really appreciate that. All right, quick shout out to our friends over at Solar Bear. If you're thinking about adding solar onto your home, I recommend it. I've got 52 panels on top of my home, that photovoltaic energy coming through into my home, and it's subsidizing some of the payments that we make, of course, to the TECOs and the Florida Power and Lights, all the power companies. SolarBear.com. Check them out, SolarBear.com. They do a great job. They are a very good organization within a company, and they have other sister companies as well. So we've had Blake Ambrester on the show. If you want to find out more, go to youtube.com, type in Blake Ambrester on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and you'll be able to go to solarbear.com as well. All right, Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. What's happening in your world, my friend?
Man, crazy times we're living in, right? So the whole, the self-defense scene, people are starting to, unfortunately, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, we have human nature, for whatever reason, likes to start taking action after an event has occurred instead of a preventative measure, right?
Sure.
So like somebody hears like a little ticking noise in their car, they're like, oh, well, you know, for the majority of people, right?
Sure,
Some people jump right on it.
generalities.
Yeah. But some people will be like, oh, you know, I'll let it, you know, whatever. I'll get it checked out. I'll get it checked out, and you let it go. But then as soon as you get smoke coming out of the hood, you're like, we got to go to the mechanic, right?
Oh yeah.
So same thing happens in the self-defense scene and like training and people wanting to get fit. Like, you know, when the chaos is like going off, that's when people are like, you know what, I need to maybe look into this thing and get it, you know, take it seriously.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm getting tons of leads, people calling me trying to sign up for training and stuff like that. Specifically the summer camp that I have that I participate with American Top Team right here in Tampa. We have, I think we got a flyer popping up on the screen.
Centrally
here.
Located too. I like that.
Yeah, it's right next to, not far from the Citrus Park Mall area, Town and Country, West Chase, you know, Citrus Park, everything right there, not far from Sickles High School. But yeah, it's awesome, man. It's, you know, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. The kids are there. They're in a safe environment. They're getting 2-a-day workouts. They're training jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, taekwondo, wrestling. We work it all with them. And then Fridays we go on field trips. We take the kids to like cool little, you know, things. We got an art teacher comes in, does art and stuff and everything. So
that's awesome.
It's you know, it's just a positive environment, and that's what we need. We need more positive things here going on in our world.
Absolutely.
In our
Positivity. And I love the fact that when you have those children in there and they're going for 6-8 weeks, 10, 12 weeks over a summer, they're able to develop their self-confidence. They're going to be so much more self-confident. They're going to be able to defend themselves. They're going to be able to stand up to bullies. It's going to change their attitude. It's so easy to have those negative type situations play out. But when you have coaching and you have training and you're disciplined, you have that self-discipline as a young kid. You know, you're talking 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. Some of these kids, you're in there. You're building that self-confidence. You're building that personality of the future and that attitude. And I'm sure you talk a lot about gratitude as well, and that's what we do as well.
Man, you know, and it paid, like you're saying, that all those lessons, they pay dividends later on in life. That stuff crosses over into your work ethic in school, and then your, you know, in your business life, you become an entrepreneur, whatever it is you do. You know, when we think about it, like especially this modern generation right now, like what's the average attention span of like a, you know, well, adults too, but a kid. Oh
yeah, 90 seconds, 60 seconds.
If that, how long can we keep them interested in something? I have some kids, man, in the class. Typically the competitors, the ones that want to go a little bit further, you know. But these kids are putting in like 13-hour days.
Oh, yeah.
So they're there all day with the camp, putting in the 2 workouts, and then they'll even stay and do like the adult class and stuff.
Man, you get that. Just think if you
how
turn on
crazy
that.
Is that, right?
You know, back in the day when I was playing Pop Warner football and I was doing strength training in the off season, and I'm talking 10 years old, 10, 11, 12. I played in Pop Warner Super Bowl #1 in 1987. I was 10 years old, and Dad was the coach and all that stuff. But yeah, I think back, man. I think back to some really good memories, and I think back to Rocky IV and that soundtrack, man. I had the cassette tape in Dad's Dodge truck. And I used to play that soundtrack, and then I remember, you know, working out and just really getting into it. So if you can get those kids to have an interest at a young age, man, they're going to be in such better shape in the long run. And
you create lifelong memories too. And then speaking about soundtracks, I firmly believe I think every summer has a soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
like you're talking about that one in specifically, but I know there was like a summer later on, you know, or you're by a lake or something like that. There's something that always triggers. There's songs that, man, remember that summer, you know?
Absolutely.
So, and those are memories, and those are things that like you can't buy. Like that's things you have to go out and experience, and what you get through sports and training and the camaraderie and friendships and, you know, the skill sets that you build. It's just you can't put a price point on it, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely. And I grew up like in the Florida Gators. So, you know, I was a Gator fan growing up, and I played football at the University of South Florida. So on the inaugural team, the very first team under Coach Levitt, and I remember
it's my 2 current favorite teams, by the way, as far as colleges go. So,
yeah, dude. You know, the very first day we were walking across the campus, going into one of the big, you know, classrooms where they have like the stadium seating, and a lot of the knuckleheads, football players, were wearing Gator shirts, University of Miami Hurricanes shirts. And, you know, get Coach Seminole shirts, and Coach Levitt said, "What are you idiots doing? You need to take those shirts off." But it's a paradigm shift, right?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden now you're 18, you know, could have been 17, I guess, but I was 18 at the time. And it's like, oh, well, that's actually a competitor of ours. And then I like to say USF went on and already beat the Florida State Seminoles, and we beat Miami Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. We still have yet to beat the Florida Gators. But I bring all this up because we've got some really awesome luxury condos for sale in Gainesville. And it's kind of interesting how business can kind of bring you back as a real estate quarterback, and, you know, loving sports, much like you do. You know, you love sports. Yesterday, Lindsay and I were talking, And, we're representing this developer with 90 pre-construction luxury condos in Gainesville, Florida. And we were talking about the marketing plan and strategy. And Lindsay said, yeah, by the way, developers, we're buying suites for the University of Florida football game. So I'm going to be going, I get to, right? And a lot about life is either you have to, or I got to do this, right? Or I get to. So I'm looking at it like I get to go to University of Florida football games, 10 of the home games next year. And we're going to be in the C-suite, of course, networking, talking about Archer Place, talking about the luxury condos we have. So what a cool world, cool life, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry you got to suffer through that, man.
I know, right? That'll be fun.
Shout out to the Gators right now. Actually, one of their alumni was on the Boston Celtics when they just won the national, the finals. Al Horford. He played basketball for the Gators.
Yeah, I remember that.
And another side note, he was the oldest guy on the team, 38 years old, won the championships, 17 years, 17 seasons.
Yeah, that's cool.
Before he won his first championship. So that shows you never give up.
Longevity. And, absolutely.
And you could be a part of that history, living there, being around Gainesville and stuff. There's a lot of history, man, just in Florida, period, but especially with the Gators and just all the teams and stuff and everything.
It was a lot of fun. That was really good times, too. Back then, you had Danny Werfel, you had Tebow shortly after that. But, yeah, so if any folks out there, any of you are Gator fans and you're thinking about an investment opportunity, we got 90 luxury condos, beautiful condos, and this developer is the real deal. They built the Four Seasons Hotel in Miami and many, many projects across the world.
No, they're super decked out. If you haven't seen the pictures online, take a look. Go to platinummvpteam.kw.com and look up Archer and the pictures of what they look like. It's amazing. You're gonna get a lot for your money.
The renderings you get 10% off by buying pre-construction. And if you want to be invited to our tailgate parties, just reach out to the show hotline. Tailgate parties coming up in the football season. We've got our gratitude parties. You can get involved. We love to have that relationship with our audience. So reach out to the show hotline if you'd like to connect. 727-263-3707. It is our pleasure to serve you as your local real estate economist of choice. 727-263-3707. And we also have our, so we have our monthly gratitude parties. We've got these tailgate parties that we're hosting in Gainesville. And we're also looking for, different business owners that might want to be a part of the show. And if you want to be connected to our current attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, expert contributors, self-defense, so many ways, doctors on the show, just reach out to the hotline or hit us up online, consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com. We're going to talk about a couple of interesting stories on the flip side here of this quick break coming up. Repurposing of commercial real estate. What a big trend that's been. What a talking point. But now one company is actually taking it to the actual blueprints and going into malls. So they're going to be repurposing malls. Find out about that. Also coming up, feel-good story of the day. 91-year-old surprises a tiny fire department with $500,000, $500,000 for updating their archaic equipment. Coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More with Alex, BlackBelt Lima. And we're going to talk about that. Summer camp, he's offering self-defense classes, repurposing of commercial real estate, as well as our feel-good story of the day. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
On current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping our sellers sell faster for more money, helping our buyers get their offers accepted, and investors are loving to work with us. We're negotiation experts here in Tampa Bay, your local real estate economist of choice. Very unique property. I love this property here. It's 140 92nd Avenue in Treasure Island. Great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. This one is an exceptional investment opportunity. 2 renovated cottages on an oversized lot. 140 92nd Avenue, Treasure Island, Florida. You're about a block and a half from the beach. The beautiful sugar sand beaches, dolphin-filled waters, and a public boat launch right around the corner from you of Tampa Bay. 140 92nd Avenue in Treasure Island, beautiful Pinellas County. 6101 Bayside Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. Pasco County, waterfront beauty. Bring your boat. You got a private dock there. Take your boat, your jet ski. You got a 1/4-acre lot, lush palm trees, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 4,000 square feet. 6101 Bayside Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout out to Christina. She's my massage therapist. I tell you what, recently found out, hey, you got high blood pressure, Brandon, you got stress, you got bypass heart surgery 4 years ago. So what do? You try to de-stress. You try to minimize the amount of stress in your life. I love going to visit my massage therapist. Once a week, I get at least a 90-minute massage. Divine Balance Alternative Healing.com. Check her out online. You won't regret it. Divine Balance Alternative Healing.com. Great massage therapist right there in Pinellas County, Palm Harbor. Divine Balance Alternative Healing.com. Let her know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take her up on those special offers and incentives. All right, Alex Lima and I are talking here in studio, and we're talking about the real estate market a little bit. We're going to talk about some of his training that he's got going on, training opportunities. But interesting story, Alex. This one's pretty cool. Where Netflix, they want you in its house is the kind of the catch line here. But it's not just on your screen anymore. Netflix is looking to bring fans of its original content into new real-world adventures. Enter Netflix Houses, a retail spaces designed to help shoppers feel like they're inside the worlds of its hit shows. Streaming giant says it's taking over 2 former department stores at malls in Texas and Pennsylvania, where customers can expect immersive experiences, shopping and food and drinks themed around its center films, including Bridgerton and Stranger Things. Netflix says it's also planning to launch 50 other experiences in 25 cities. Okay, so let's see how successful they are with the first couple, but that's a great idea. I think, because we've talked about retail, for example. You look at some of these malls are dying. People are just buying online. They're not walking in and buying retail as much as they would. And a lot of times I think about these stores that sell like soaps and candles. I'm like, really? How do you
stay open?
How do you stay open,
we
right?
talked about that. How do they stay open?
How do you stay open? But this is a smart idea. If it works, we'll see. We'll see how they structure it, how they roll it out. Let's see how their execution is, because if you can take a mall and convert that into something, I'm thinking like a miniature Universal Studios or a miniature type of a Disney experience, almost like a theme park.
Yeah, I think they're gonna like, for example, like with the show there that you mentioned that I'm most familiar with, the Stranger Things. Awesome show. If people haven't watched it, really, it's kind of like a love letter to the '80s. It's a throwback.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I believe it was the second season. It actually the focal point took place in a mall.
Yeah.
So all they would do is like kind of throw it back and make it look like an '80s mall and throw up like the names of the stores and things.
Yeah.
But this isn't a new concept, and I'm actually shocked that it hasn't been done sooner.
Yeah.
Because, for example, like what we're talking about is taking a place and doing a theme upon it, right? Mm-hmm. One thing that we never talk about when you talk about local things in the market, reasons to come to Florida, like our theme parks and stuff, man.
Yeah.
We've got Legoland, Busch Gardens and stuff like that, the zoo,
Yep.
And like those places, for example, specifically, let's say, Busch Gardens, Universal and that, they do like those Halloween nights, right? And they've done it before where they turned the whole park, they actually did Stranger Things as a theme.
Yep.
So like if a company can go and pay a licensing agreement to Netflix, and then, hey, for X amount of weeks, for a couple months, we want to do a theme like that. Right. I'm surprised it didn't trigger something sooner. Like, you know what, we should just do this ourselves. I'm glad they let Florida. They let us experience it a little bit, but why I'm surprised they haven't done it sooner. I mean, you have all these like these brands and these things that you can push and promote. I think it's really cool. It's a cool idea.
Pretty cool. I like it. We'll see. Let's see if they can execute. I think that's the key. All right, another story here. So, report finds Tampa housing market is one of the fastest cooling in the nation. So that's not good. We're cooling. We're number 2 in the nation as far as cooling in the housing market. So after years of a scorching hot housing market, a new report labels the Tampa region as one of the fastest cooling markets in the country. A report recently talked about year-over-year changes from April 2023 to April 24. So they look at the changes at home prices, price drops, so the amount of price reductions from realtors, inventory, the amount of inventory on the market, share of new homes that sell within 2 weeks. And Northport came in first, just north of Port Charlotte there. Tampa, followed by Tampa and Cape Coral. In fact, 6 of Florida cities rounded out the top 10. Lakeland listed at number 9. Polk County is a super hot area as well. Also, looking at reasons why, as a surge of new construction, high insurance costs, and rising housing prices as reasons on the west coast of Florida are rapidly cooling. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's just saying that it's slowing down. The appreciation is slowing down. So it's not doom and gloom. But when you look at it, I've got the actual stats here too, Alex. So if you look at Hillsborough County, the single-family homes, this is the Hillsborough County market, closed sales in April of 2023 24, we had 1,410 closed sales. That's down just 3% from the previous year, which was 1,454. So not a huge change, but it is cooling. Paid in cash, 302 properties were closed in cash. Median sale price, $429,250. So that's relatively the same as 2023, just a 2.2 increase. Average sale price, $542,000. That's up 7% year over year change. So it is increasing. Total dollar amount, total dollar volume of sales in Hillsborough County, $764 million, 0.4 million in April of 2024. What's your thoughts?
You know, I haven't seen all the stats, but, you know, I'm willing to bet that in comparison to other states and stuff like that, we're still doing just fine. You know, there's a lot of people that want to be in Florida. I think a lot of that has to do with a supply and demand type issue. Like you said, you know, we need construction, we need the buildings to come. There's a lot of people that want to be here. Yep. They want to live the way that we do. And I think it's just a matter of time before we just boom again. I mean, you got the properties like Archer Place; those are going to fill up quick once people catch wind of that and how cool all that is. So. Yeah,
exactly. A lot of reasons to be in Florida. Great schools, great, of course, sunshine, and of course, people are leaving California still. Number one state, exodus in droves. One of the reports I was looking at, over 500,000 people left recently, households. So you can't get a U-Haul coming from there. You know, they're all going back or going the opposite way. So you can't get a U-Haul there. And definitely, people are moving to Florida, Texas, South Carolina, Tennessee. You know, some of those states in between, and it's all for a lot of the reasonings why is crime. You know, there's a combination, state income tax, things of that nature. But yeah, Tampa Bay, best place to live, work, and play.
Man, we're better.
We're the best.
We're the best, baby.
We're the best. That's right.
That's it.
Come on down. We'd love to talk to you about it, help you, get into the real estate game. And I think the key is when you look at partnering with a real estate team, there's negotiation strategies, there's tactics, there's tips that we can provide and help you get the most bang for your buck. A lot of sellers are willing to do repairs and concessions right now. So if they want to sell, they're motivated to sell, we can help you do that. Coming up, we have Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, going to be back on the show. He's our contracting extraordinaire contractor. Fred Muth coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show here. And stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Follow us online at brandonRhymes1, at CQB Show. Follow us and connect as well on our website at consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
And we're back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and engaging with us. We love to talk to you. We love it when you call the hotline and talk about your different challenges in life, real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, self-defense. So many ways we help you here with home service providers and more on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, we've got Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum on the program today. He's our contractor expert contributor, and we're going to talk with him here in just a minute. Quick shout out to our friend Lee. He is the owner of Lee's Royal Services. So we got a cleaning company here in Tampa Bay. He's a handyman services company. Reach out to leesroyalservices.com. You can check him out online, leesroyalservices.com. Home and office cleaning, so you got residential, commercial cleaning services, as well as handyman services, leesroyalservices.com. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. I highly recommend Lee and his team. All right, a couple of hot listings, and then we're going to talk with Fred Muth. 7325 Skybird. This is unit number 399, Bradenton, Florida, Manatee County. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 1 car garage, open floor plan. 1520 square feet condo with lake views. I love the amenities here. You have an 81-foot style, lagoon style heated pool right here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Bradenton, Florida. Clubhouse, fitness center, catering kitchen, and more. You're close to the Gulf beaches, downtown Riverwalk, dining, shopping, and many more options as well. 7325 Skybird Road, number 399, Bradenton.
Quick question, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Every time I see this property, and it's not a deal breaker for me because I really do love this property every time I see it, that piano, does that come with the property?
I'm sure that could be negotiated in there.
Let's talk it into the contract. I want that piano, man. Or if not, you know what? Don't buy the property. Don't buy the piano. I want the piano.
There you go. I like it. You move it. You buy it. You move it. That's one of those deals. All right, we got 1922 Fiesta Ridge Court. Affordable home right here in Tampa Bay, centrally located, great location, and it's 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. 1,300 square foot townhome, 1922 Fiesta Ridge Court in Florida. Gated community, so you have that privacy and security with the gate. You have the Las Palmas townhomes in Tampa. Both bedrooms are on the second floor. Living room sliders leading out to a fenced-in backyard with a deck. Kitchen, stainless steel appliances, ample counter space. Minutes away from TIA. 1922 Fiesta Ridge Court. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome back, sir.
Hello, Brandon. Hello, Alex. Hey, you got a blood pressure problem? Are you sure you're not in the aluminum business?
I know, right? There you go. Yeah, just a little elevated the last few days, but all good, brother. All good. Yep, we're blessed and highly favored, and yeah, man. So when you're out there and you're in the this economy where you're dealing with consumers, you're talking to suppliers. What seems to be some of the biggest topics that you're talking about on a weekly basis?
Great question. In fact, I had this conversation with a fellow this morning, and unfortunately, a lot of people are so moved by what's going on in the world today. That's a big concern. Not just the politics, what's going on across the pond, so to speak. There's a lot of not such good things going on out there, and people are worried. And what I'm hearing, for example, our sales are down a little bit. So somebody will say, call Fred and tell him to hold off on the screen room. Interest rates are going back up again. Okay, whatever. I hear that from time to time. Or, oh man, we're not stable yet with this situation with insurance in Florida. Let's hold off on the screen room, honey. I'll hear that from time to time. But it goes in cycles, Brandon, and I've been doing this since 1992, and I've seen the waves. So right now it's sort of on a downswing. It's like a housing market then. It's on the downswing, but you have all these factors that are hitting the news, and it's got to affect your business as well.
Yeah, you do see that. You have some of the wait and see buyers out there. An interesting stat. What were interest rates in 1974? 7.5%.
7.5%.
What are interest rates like right around now? About 7.5%. Maybe if you have great credit, good score, maybe you get a 6.875. But they're in that general range. But the key point there is, if you wait, you're losing out. You look at the appreciation that's happened in Tampa Bay and other areas since 1974. Heck, since 2004, since 2014. So with real estate, it's an appreciating asset, and plus you can insure it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's what you just said. You summed it all up. But not everybody sees it that way. So as a realtor, that's the point that you need to drive. And as a guy that sells screen rooms as well, I need to drive that point. But I don't push people. What we sell is not a necessity. It's a luxury. What you're involved with real estate, everybody has to have housing. So you have more of a necessity based on, what the customer needs.
Sure, absolutely. Big news as well last week. Interesting take on this. I'm going to play a quick clip here, but could be a situation. Now, when you're building these rooms, of course, you're contracting for a fee, and there's a cost to this. Now, do you get taxed, or do you get tips? Do you get tipped, Fred? I
don't, but I think quite often sometimes the installers are tipped.
Okay.
And that's very well deserved. Can you imagine working this job out there in this heat?
Absolutely.
Why not?
That's great.
If a coffee barista gets tipped, why someone that's building a room for you in your house can't throw them a couple extra bucks?
Exactly. I like that. But here's a quick clip. Here's a quick clip on that topic.
Yeah, this went viral last week when President Trump at a campaign event in Nevada vowed to eliminate taxes on all tips for those working in the service industry.
For those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Critics of the idea say tips.
Big news, right?
I heard that, and I mean, my head is shaking. I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. We're taxed enough already, right? You see some of these videos going viral about, you're taxed on your home, you're taxed on your car, you're taxed on your work, you're taxed on permits, we get taxed so many times. So yeah, what a great idea. I love that.
April 15th comes around and I'm nervous.
There you go. Yeah, we talked with Dwayne Bischoff. He's our CPA expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we talk about tax strategies as well. And we've also had some really good advice from Mark Hay, 21st Century Financial, helping us save a lot of money on taxes. There was one rule that he introduced us to called the Augusta Rule, saved us a ton of money on taxes. But if you just joined us, folks, we're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Matter of fact, one of our longest. You're right up there, 9-10 years now, been a partner with us and an expert contributor. We really appreciate you being that expert contributor for us, Fred.
Thank you. I remember the first show.
Do you really? Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with the electrician who got me in there, and I don't know, I just let it all hang out. And as I was driving away from the studio, I had to call you and say, "Hey, did I overstep my bounds?" And you said, "No, we need more of that."
I love it. Yeah, man. That's right. Consumer advocacy, helping people understand their buying decisions, making you more street smart. That's what we do on the daily here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. So I want to go back to tips. What would you say, just in general, from contracting point of view, what are some tips for our audience on how they can avoid commission-based advice, how they can live a better life, and just kind of, what do you see out there when it comes to these questions they have?
Well, the questions are very well appreciated by a consultant, not necessarily by a true salesman. And I say that because I've worked both sides. A lot of sales guys, they don't like a lot of questions. They like to dictate out what the customer needs to know to make the sale. But I take the consultative approach, as you've said it many times. I welcome the questions. I want the consumer to completely understand the job. If I explain it and I miss something, and if they ask the question and we cover it, I feel better than they do. Because there's nothing worse in construction than a big surprise on the back end, and that happens.
Right.
And I see it where the high pitched salespeople will basically not want to answer the questions, and then there's confusion. The job goes up, and the next thing you know, there's a problem. Well, that doesn't happen with Tampa Screens, because everybody who works there has the idea that I'm talking about. We like to be consultants on the project. We like everybody to know exactly what's going to go on, nuts to bolts. In some cases, you can be somewhat redundant with explanation, and I'm fine with that. And then, of course, on the other side, the consumer can be redundant on the questions, and I'm fine with that as well, because if they're going to continue to ask, I'm going to continue to answer. I hung up the phone with somebody right before the show. Been working with this lady for 4 weeks now, and she is asking me the same questions over and over. She says to me, "I hope you don't mind." I go, "No, I love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming." Yeah. That way we covered it. And
exactly.
I see. Whether it's screen rooms, pools. I've seen the problems with pools where people did not understand exactly what they were getting, and the pool contractor built it this way, and they were getting something else. Apparently, whoever the salesman was for the pool, he didn't cover it, and the customer did not ask the question. So now there's a big problem. We don't need that. I don't like that, and basically it can be eliminated.
Exactly. Yeah, by simply just question and answers. A good presentation is going to uncover those underlying questions and draw out those objections. So that's a great way to do it. Fred Muth here, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Fred, what are you seeing in terms of supply chain?
It's okay. It's still coming at us pretty good. We're not held up for supplies right now. Of course, that changes when the hurricanes hit, but we don't want that to happen either. Labor right now is fine. Everything seems to be pretty much in order. Well, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that things have slowed down a little bit. So there's plenty of materials coming in a timely manner, and of course the labor is there when we need it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, when it comes to the consultation, what does that process look like? If somebody's out there listening, you're saying, "Hey, I'd like to get a quote. I want to talk to Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Fred Muth, and maybe have them come over and look at putting a beautiful screen room, pool lanai, a pool cage onto their home." What does that look like?
Generally, we get the call because the consumer wants a lanai, and then we have to determine exactly what the lanai is. A lanai could be a pool cage, it could be a screen room with a covered roof. There's a lot. The term lanai covers a lot of products. So my first question to the homeowner, when they call in, I'll say, what exactly is the scope of work? And, they like that. They'll say, oh, yeah, we're trying to build a screen room, and we need a paver foundation. We need some fan beams in there, and maybe some vinyl windows. Great. It's all right there. So my next question is, do you have an idea of a size? And generally they do. If they don't have the size in mind, I try to work it backwards because it's a mathematical equation. I'll say something like, okay, you don't have a size in mind. Are we talking about a $50,000 room or a $30,000 room or a $10,000 room? And that way I can, in 5 minutes, I've got everything I need to come out there and give them a quote on exactly what they want. For example, if 20 years ago you could get a good sized room for $10,000, that's not going to happen today. So some people have moved from their original home, they bought the new home, and the last screen room they bought was 25 years ago, and they remember them prices. So that's why we have to get an idea of the size and or the price so that we can make this make sense for the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, man. Good stuff. All right, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. How do you want people to connect with you, Fred?
813-960-7064 works the best.
Say it one more time, 960-7064?
Yes, 813-960-7064 goes right into our office.
All right, that's going to get you directly in contact with Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Fred Muth, thanks for calling in, my friend.
I'll see you guys tonight.
Look forward to it. Thank you very much. All right, Fred. Okay, taking a quick break. We're going to come back and talk with Doug Clark, Ours Creole. He's the official restaurant partner, Consumer Quarterback Show in Pinellas County. Excellent food. We're going to catch up with him on the restaurant industry coming up here. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Great feel-good story. 91-year-old surprises a tiny fire department with $500,000 for updating their archaic equipment. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to be talking with our friend Doug Clark here, Ours Creole, in just a minute. Feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, we got a 91-year-old surprises a fire department with $500,000 for updating their archaic equipment. So a rural fire department is updating their equipment. This was a donation from a local resident in their town. And what they did is they said, hey, look, you got these old fire trucks. A lot of it needs updating, most of which were from the 1980s and 90s. So this gentleman donated $500,000. The donation will allow them to purchase new fire trucks by updating their gear. And the department previously struggled financially with only $169 left in their bank account. So there you go. Feel-good story of the day. I always love those feel-good stories. And we're going to go to the phone lines now because we're going to talk with Doug Clark, Ours Creole.
He's not on the phone.
And do we have him?
No.
Okay, we don't have Doug Clark. Okay, so Doug Clark is not with us. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple listings here. We've got a property at 2156 Masters Court, 2156 Masters Court. Beautiful property right here in Dunedin, Florida. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 20 square foot condo. Beautifully remodeled end unit. 2 primary suites. You have an eat-in kitchen as well. And it's only 7 minutes from downtown Dunedin. You're 5 minutes from Honeymoon Island, quarter mile from the Pinellas Bike Trail. And if you haven't seen those Pinellas Bike Trail, it's really cool. It's such a cool and just very unique bike trail that we have here in Tampa Bay. It runs for a lot of miles. I'm not sure exactly how many miles, but it's a great opportunity to get out there and enjoy the Tampa Bay lifestyle. You're close to Clearwater Beach there as well. 2156 Masters Court, unit number 2156 in Dunedin, Florida. All right, 2790 Pinellas Point Drive South. This one's in St. Petersburg. This is a beautiful home. I love this home. It's an open floor plan, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2236 square feet on Pinellas Point Drive South. Now, what you have is a wide open kitchen. It's fully renovated kitchen, open floor plan. You're moments away from the award-winning beaches, and you have practical features also that include solar panels to reduce your electrical costs. Beautifully landscaped paver patio featuring a serene gazebo, enticing jacuzzi, and just a great opportunity here at 2790 Pinellas Point Drive South, St. Petersburg, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right. So we were going to talk with Hours Creole. I know Doug's over there probably cooking up some nice stuff there in the kitchen, Alex. He's always got some awesome food. Let's just talk a little bit about Hours Creole for a minute here. What's some of your favorite dishes?
Man, over at Hours Creole, well, I mean, obviously the drummies. The drummies are a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And he did, what did I have when we had our party there the other day? Never in my life had I eaten this, nor did I ever think I would, nor enjoy it. Fried green tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's never would think it's my thing, man, but I don't know what he does to it, man. He puts some of that New Orleans magic on whatever he cooks, and he just gets it, man.
Yeah, you got to check him out if you haven't been over there yet. Hours Creole, it's right there on Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs. One of our 80 different categories, 40-plus show partners on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Expert contributor Doug Clark, Hours Creole. He's was supposed to be, okay, so he's on the line now. Let's go to Doug Clark, Hours Creole. Doug Clark, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing, man?
Excellent. I know Alex and I were just talking about your food menu. I said he's probably just back there getting it ready, pumping out some great food for the patrons.
Yeah, I just got done. Actually, what I'm doing is I just got done pulling some alligator ribs off the smoker, and I got them in a stock pot. I'm going to make with a little sherry and some herbs and fresh thyme from the garden here, and I'm going to make a little French onion alligator soup. We've done it a couple times here, and people really love it. We throw some fresh cheese on that guy, broil it in the cheese melter, and man, it's just like an French style onion soup. But this time, we put a little some alligator love to it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a delicacy.
It's super. It's delicacy. It's great. We utilize the whole animal. A lot of people, we know where our alligator's coming from. I mean, it's coming right here. It's a local guy, and I don't think I would want to say his name on the air. I don't want to spill all my good secrets here, but
right.
we utilize the whole animal. We get the ribs, we take the meat, we grind it. We'll make burgers out of it, alligator burgers. Our fried alligator. It's never. We're not freezing it here. We're coming in. We're it's just like a processing plant. We're to use that animal. We're going to make sure that we get every ounce that we get out of it, every dollar we put in, we're going to try to get out of it, So that's what we try to accomplish around here,
That's really cool, man. I love the flavor. I love the ambiance. The staff is very friendly, super cool staff. You got bands on the weekends and from time to time. Tell us a little bit more about Hours Creole.
Well, we are a family restaurant. My brother works here. My wife works right next to me every day in the kitchen. Grandma comes in and hosts on Sundays or, Sunday brunch. We do it once a month. And, Saturday nights, and, the kids that come in here, we teach them how to, make fresh desserts. My oldest son, Gonzo, he makes the bread pudding here and there. And, every time we'll work a little deal out, it's like his little summer chore, here. He just comes in and kind of helps me a little bit. And, we just teach them how to make this stuff, how to utilize ingredients, no waste here. The opportunity to create a menu every day is like what's super cool about our establishment. And, you can come in here 5 days a week and, you're going to see something on the menu that's different. We run specials, but they're printed. We print a menu every day. We use recycled paper. We go through a lot of ink here, but, that's the cool thing about it. We can come in, okay, well, what do we want to use today? What are we thinking about? We'll talk to our vendors, our people and see, our purveyors and, what do you got here? What's a good thing? What's on the market? And, give me a good price. And, we'll go that route. We have a price point that we're looking for. Your money's tight out there. We know what's going on in the world, so, you shouldn't have to go out to, to break the bank. You go to a grocery store. We were just talking about this with my wife. You go to plan a meal for 3 days at your house. You got 3 kids. You're looking to drop, $400 coming out of there.
Right.
Let's ease the pain. Let's ease it a little bit here. On Wednesdays we do $10 burgers. We have fresh, 8-ounce burgers, and we do pulled pork sandwiches, $10, happy hour all night long. Come in and enjoy that. And we do part of the proceeds on Wednesdays go to a charity event that we do on Wednesday. So we're looking to give back to the community that supported us, and everybody should be able to go out and enjoy themselves once or twice a week, and not like plan it like a vacation. It's not fair to the economy. It's not fair to the people, and everybody works hard for their money.
Give us the address and the location online as well.
310 East Tarpon Avenue, right downtown in the heart of historic, Tarpon Springs, and hourscreole.com. check us out. Look at our new website. Make sure you go to the top. Subscribe to our email list. We got specials that get put out there.
All right.
Get on there. Let's go.
Good stuff.
We're putting it on the map here, baby. Come on.
Doug Clark, go visit him. Ours Creole. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, another great show. We had Alex, BlackBelt Lima, Fred Muth, Doug Clark, Consumer Quarterback Show online at consumerqb.com.